All right, fuckers, welcome back to the Fars podcast. I'm joined by my fellow co-host.
Hello,
Lewis.
it's me, Lewis. I'm joined with...
Sean. But you're
And-
really close to me today. That's a nightmare.
I know, and the reason for this, Sean, is because we have got a very special guest in today.
Very. Now, our guest, she is what a woman. What a fucking woman. I have grew up with this woman and stand up and
Been there your whole life.
Oh, aye.
Watched you being born.
Watch me be bomb from stand up, and my God, have I loved her the whole the second I met her.
The whole time. Well, let's introduce a very special guest today. Today, guys, on the Fatherless podcast, we are joined with Tia Boyd, the lovely Tia Boyd.
Hello.
Right, I have to straight away get into this. Right, Lewis told me something crazy. You two are Castlemilk queens,
Yep.
Yes, we are indeed.
The deep south,
and
baby.
you guys might no longer be around for much longer.
Aye.
There is a lunatic running about Castlemilk chopping heads off and leaving it at play parks.
This is, there's been a lot of posts in the milk recently. They've shut off Wayne's World. And it's a shame because I used to go to Wayne's World because my Granny Annie lived next to Wayne's World. So we'd go to Granny Annie's house, and then she had one of the holes in the living room that you pass tea through.
Oh, aye.
Stunning. And then we'd go up and play in Wayne's World, and there was shoots and there was slides and stuff. And I often dream about Wayne's World, but I dream it back how it was. No, it's basically abandoned. And right now, currently, it's covered in people in big white suits trying to find body parts and DNA. So it's a hard one. It's a hard one to see your childhood.
Yeah, that is.
It makes you grow up
The Jenny
fast.
Burns Centre is no longer for families. It is no longer for families.
But as if Castlemilk couldn't get worse. You're like, this place doesn't need a serial killer.
Castlemilk's alright. Castlemilk's alright.
It's all right, but, you know, I think we're really leaning into the whole Gotham City edge thing. You know what I mean? Halloween's coming up, you know what I mean? So I think we're just trying to create, you know, that Halloween hotspot. It's like Glasgow, but for Castlemilk.
This guy's like Calendar Man. You know what I mean?
I will say, I was thinking about this recently. Castlemilk has been popping off since the 1970s, whenever it got built. And every day, there's thousands of people in the place that just go about their business.
I know.
Sound as. Every single day. Thousands of transactions go down at shop, thousands of interactions with people, thousands of visits, thousands of cups of tea get made, and it's fine. Now and again, some people get murdered. That's true. That's a fact. As my neighbour got murdered, I was gutted. But
Was it your neighbour that got murdered?
no, that was a different murder. That was
Right.
a different one. But
Watching a pattern here.
there's a lot, but the rent is really cheap. So
dirt cheap.
that's it. People make the milk, and some people don't make it out the milk. But where I've came to on it is like, I love where I'm from, and it's also traumatized me deeply. So I think it's both. How you doing, boys?
We're doing incredible. But Tia, I had to get you on for a reason because something beautiful has happened to you, and I have got to witness it.
Like
For the past, what? How long are we talking now?
I-
When did it start? Right, so Tia's basically, you're transitioning, right?
I'm currently in the middle of transitioning.
Yeah.
What to? I can't kind of guarantee.
Right.
But I've left behind a sort of self that I was previously. And that started because I took ayahuasca in January of this year. We can get in, I'll get into it all. I'll get into it all eventually. But I basically came out to myself in February this year, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, there's definitely some gender shit that I have just been ignoring. And I learned a lot about that. I don't even know where to start with. There's so much to go into, but I learned about, basically, do you know what? I'm probably best telling you the structure of the shows that I done it. That probably makes the most sense.
Yeah.
So I done 3 different shows, and on each show I had a different name. So the first show that I did was in March 2024, and it was called Space Cadet. And it was about me growing up in Castlemilk and having like Arabian heritage and being disconnected for that heritage, and then coming to terms with my sexuality. Because at the time I thought I was just a pan man, and I done my whole show, and it was beautiful. It really, really was. The whole reason I started comedy was because my life story is ridiculous. Like the first thing I ever say on stage is that my father's an Arab and my mother's an Ed, and then put them together and you get this. So it was sort of like, Assalamu alaikum, and then you're daft. And that's so quick because that was the whole point that I went to stand up, was just explaining that to people. They were like, what do you mean your mother is for Castlemilk and your dad is for the desert? So just telling people how my life happened meant that I ended up having bits and stories, because you have to tell your life story every time. And my name was Terium. So when people were asking, they'd be like, oh, Terium, where does that name come from? And I was immediately into, right, you ready for 7 minutes of storytelling?
Right.
And it was good, but that's anyway.
It took me
Okay.
20 years to fucking say your name.
Yeah, but this is it. Nobody said it correctly.
Ever?
I had different ways of saying
So I always
it.
call you T. That's
In
it.
Space Cadet, I started the night by going, please welcome Tarium Boyd. That wasn't my name. My name was Tarium Boyd.
Aye.
But people said it so many ways. So Tarium, Tarim, Tarzam, Tyram, Tiryam, Tyram, Teranium, Teranium, Teabag, Wee T-Bone, T-Dog, a million names, Ty Dog or something.
Jeez Louise.
These are all
so
just for me.
So when I changed my name and people were like, you can't change your name. And I was like, what one? I was like, genuinely, what one? I was like, I've got so many. I got to the point that in my life, if I was walking down the street and I heard somebody go, oh, Tarium, I was like, that's somebody who's grew up with me. Like, that's somebody who knows me. And if somebody said Tarium Butler, which was like my first name in primary school, I'm like, that's somebody who's been there.
Tyrion Butler was your
Tarium
first
Butler.
name. Why?
Because that was my ma's maiden name, was Butler.
Right,
And then she got married to my dad, David. And then I changed it to Boyd.
Nice.
Which I probably shouldn't give away all my bank information.
Probably
so,
shouldn't.
yeah.
So, did your mum meet your dad out in the?
You don't know the
desert?
fucking story?
Genuinely, no.
God.
Here we go.
Let's stay the full shit.
Fucking hell, the
Cardigans
cardigans
coming up.
Cardigans
getting,
coming
getting,
off.
Getting real.
There's no winter anymore. Will this ruin the shot? If I put it
No,
up
no,
like
of
that?
course no.
No,
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 fire it
no.
there.
Cool. Okay.
Get your Velma jumper there. You know,
Yeah,
right?
Velma, this was worn by a very famous trans person. Thank you.
Aye, Velma.
Aye, me, fuck's it. Me. Right. Here we go. Velma's got mask energy.
Very
Don't know
mask
how.
energy.
I don't know how.
Mm-hmm. I totally get it.
She's on it. She's on things. She's getting
on.
shit done.
Yep.
Provider. She provides.
She's a provider for that group.
She provides
Aye,
answers.
nothing but clues.
Information, clues. Yeah, she is. She is. Right.
Right, so your mum, how'd your mum dad
Let's
meet?
do it. Okay. So, my mum grew up in Castlemilk in Glasgow. And when I say my mum was an Ed, I don't do that as a bit. She genuinely was an Ed growing up. And she'll tell you. She'll be the first to
Total
tell you.
bam.
She was. My granddad was in the army. He was a soldier in the army. So he was all over the world. He was in Germany, he was in Ireland, he was in the Falklands, and the family would sometimes go with him and get stationed in different army places. So they go, oh, you just made...
Oh, no.
you
I was just
agreeing
agreeing to the story.
I see, there was so little noise that
She's
I
got
assumed.
That's
ADHD,
okay.
remember this?
Oh, sorry.
Envious
That's it.
facial hyperfixated.
There's a scratch at the door.
Yeah,
This
it's
whole
like-
podcast derailed.
Sometimes being on stage and it'll be a fan goes, woo, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've literally seen it. Like, just derail our whole set.
do you hear that? Everybody, no. Shh. Swear I can hear it, and it's at the bit of the story that I've like building it up
peak.
to. I'm like, at that moment, I looked myself right in the eye and I said, what? None of you can hear that. Are you kidding me? What was I saying? Anyway, keep me on. So my granddad was in one of the different places, and he was in Abu Dhabi. And it's kind of summarised in a jokey way, but the basis of it is that he ended up in Abu Dhabi and they were training soldiers and they moved the family over. And my mum moved over and she was like 15 at the time. And she'd came for like, she'd been in the different army places, but she was in fucking 1990s Abu Dhabi. And there was like loads of rules, obviously, for like British people and the Arabs staying separate. But my mum was like, not you, man. So she ended up meeting my dad and hanging about with the Arabs. The Arabs, you know.
The idea that you're opening an Ed in the middle of Abu Dhabi is
Literally,
so funny.
literally.
Aye, crazy.
My mom's got stories of like being in like a class and just getting pure wide with the teacher the whole time, to the point that like the whole classroom had to get moved next to the head teacher's office just because the rest of them had just been like inspired. They were like, Braveheart in it. Braveheart, all the girls in hijab and she's just in the middle.
Starting an uproar.
Yeah.
That's class.
Don't you ever fucking talk to me like that.
But that's all it takes, isn't it? Like just a Scottish woman to go over there to solve all the problems, mate.
That's trouble.
Just go
man.
there and go, here, everything you're doing? No.
No, that's literally it. It's a Scottish person just going, no.
No.
The people going,
I
like
agree
this.
with this now.
Yeah. So my mom was proper rebelling against all the systems, and she got an Arab boyfriend, and they're like, don't get an Arab boyfriend, and she was like, and then she got pregnant in Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
Yeah, so she got pregnant at 15 in Abu Dhabi.
And what's that like in there? Is that not frowned upon?
Oh,
Like dead?
Yeah, it was, and because it was like between the British Army and the Arabs as well. It was like the day she found out she was pregnant, she had to get like flown out the country. Like, yeah, well, she found out she was pregnant, and she was just like, I'm just going to ignore this for a wee bit. And then when she told the family, the minute she told the family, she had to get like smuggled like out the country. And she talks about being at the airport and getting the pat down, hoping that they wouldn't like find the bump. Yeah, otherwise they could have kept her there. She could give birth to me. I could have been taken off her, gave to my dad, because I believe it was, the rights were paternal. Hold me on that. That's why we need somebody pulling bits up. And 1990s Abu Dhabi paternity laws, they were not good. And then my mom and my gran came back to Glasgow, back to Castlemilk, and then my granda came back. And then my dad, who was also 15 at the time, came from Abu Dhabi to the milk. So there was an ad running about the milk with like my Uncle Jimmy and my Uncle George, just like,
no fucking way.
yeah, and he was 15 as well. So yeah, and he had like a mustache and shit. It was the mid-90s. So
big respect. What a move at 15
Big move.
to move to the other side of the world.
So did he move
to-
because he was like, I want to go with my boy and my
yeah,
missus?
he's like,
Aye.
need to go support this Wayne. But then
Wow.
he
And what
was just-
happened then? So see, like, because when he moved over, did his family be like, is that it disowned? Or be like, what you doing?
It definitely wasn't disowned. I don't think anybody in the families was happy. Like
Right.
everybody was like,
What you doing?
this is not good for everybody involved. But then it ended up that my mom and my dad didn't work out, so my dad went back to Abu Dhabi.
Right.
Abu Dhabi. That's because I do the back. That's because I go. I was less than a year old when I lost my Abu Dhabi, and everybody goes, oh. And then I go, we went out for a packet of shisha, never came back. And then I go, never even get a chance to say Dubai. And they go, they always go for Dubai.
Yeah.
They never go for the shisha, man. They
Oh,
never
the shisha's the best line.
it's
I
the
think.
best line.
Aye.
It's the best line. They don't know what shisha is.
Aye.
So my dad went back, and then I was raised by my mom, and I was like disconnected.
It's just your mum on her own, you. and her?
Yeah, my mom and my gran and my granda. And
Wow.
But then my mom moved out when she was like 17, and it was me and her in like a wee flat in Castlemilk. Across the landing for comedian Alan J.
No way.
He literally grew up in the landing opposite me.
So you'd have
What's
seen
the
his mum and dad do heroin?
I would have seen his mom. I would definitely have seen his mom. I was only 4 at the time, so I
Aye.
probably had no context. But
Aye.
I definitely, me and him ended up becoming like queer comedians.
Literally,
And
yeah.
I said to my wee brother, I was like, "You're lucky you moved out when you were 2."
Aye, something about that.
I was like, "Yeah, you've had a fucking
Something
mic
like
in
that.
one
He's
hand
sucking dick in
and
that
a dick in the
landing.
other." Yeah, he's all right. He got it. He's just normal.
No lead paint you need to worry about. It's,
Yeah, it's fine. So my dad came, my dad went. It was me and my mom, and then, right. Any questions on this in between? Feel
Aye,
like-
so you and your mum,
Mhm.
so like, how long did you not have like a quote unquote dad around?
Well, my mum met my stepdad when I
Uh-huh.
was like 5, and he was
5,
like,
that's okay.
and he was like my best pal.
Amazing.
So yeah,
mate.
so he was like,
Aye.
it was me and him and her. So, but I think that in a weird way, it probably fucked me up somehow,
Right. Mhm.
calling like a white guy.
Your dad?
Dad,
Aye, of
yeah.
course.
yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, no, he is my dad, and he is my dad. Like I say that, like you always believe that family's chosen and stuff, but probably just because I felt like I had a mom and a dad, I was like, well, I'm sorted.
Yeah.
I don't need any other. I'm good to go.
You don't
I-
need that. That's all
I
you need.
always thought that I would go and meet my dad at some point, but I was a kid, so I was predicting like me going to the desert and sitting on like the back of a camel and being like, "Hello,
Yeah.
Tyrion." His name's Tyrion as well. I was like, Tyrion. But I ended up messaging me when I was like 15, sent me an email, and it was like, "Hello, son." And just to quickly detail, there's going to be so many details on this, but the first job that I ever had was I was a child actor on River City when I was ages 13 to 17.
Yeah.
And the biggest storyline my character ever got is that his mom thought that he was looking at porn on the computer, but he wasn't looking at porn. He was looking up flight tickets to go to Iraq to meet the Iraqi family that he was disconnected. That was his big storyline. And then ended up going to Iraq and meeting his family. During all this, I've never met the Arab family.
But did you pitch that to them? No.
No.
Or did it just so
It
happen?
just happened. Somebody just wrote that.
That's
and I was
mad.
a mental just by sheer coincidence. And then about a year later, that exact thing happened to me in real life. Like my dad reached out to me and I went to Birmingham, flew down to Birmingham to meet him and my uncles, met them. Got stoned. So I can say got stoned. I can
Hell
say
yeah.
got stoned. And that's about a day I'm always like, I don't know if you have to reconnect with a long lost parent, but if you do, smoking a big old doobie really speeds up the process. It's like, sorry, I wasn't there for 18 years of your life. And I'm like, that's all right, but see for that, you're rolling the next one. But I know it was cool. Reconnected. And then went to Abu Dhabi and met my full family. So like flew and then got in the airport, drove to this house, and this woman just runs out and she's like, my boy. And I'm like, who is this? I was like, who is this? And she's hugging me. And as she's hugging me, I'm like, I don't know this woman's name. I don't know who she is, but I love her. I was like, I can feel like the love for her. And it was my gran. It was my gran
mate.
Samia. And I was just like reconnected. And then I had my sisters, my cousins, my like uncles, aunties, whole family that I'd never met before. Met my gran as well. I didn't meet my granda for a wee while. He's his own interesting character. But yeah, so I went to Abu Dhabi when I was like 18 and then reconnected. And then came back and I felt a wee bit more Arab. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm a fucking Arabian. And also found out I was ADHD because my dad got diagnosed with ADHD. And when I went to Abu Dhabi and I sat at the dinner table, like they were all like me. They were all fried. Like everybody was fried. But like my gran, like my dad, everybody was running about. It's all mad. Like I am I went for dinner at like 5 o'clock. Because they told me dinner at 5, and I got there and there was nobody there. And I was like, what's going on? I said to my gran, I was like, don't you dinner at 5? She was like, for us, dinner at 5 means dinner at 6. And I was like, I love that. And she's like, and that means maybe dinner at 7. I was like, class. So everybody's ADHD out there. Well, no, everybody in my family. It's definitely ADHD out there. So,
But then see when you went over there and you noticed everybody had ADHD, that must have made you feel better.
yeah, I clicked in.
Yeah,
I looked
just
good and I was
in.
like, oh, I fit with this, because I'd literally no fit in any images in Castlemilk growing up. Like even like in the school, I was the only wee brown guy in the school for a while. We got some eventually.
Yeah.
Even like my family, because my mom and my stepdad had my wee brother, so everybody was white except me. And but then my auntie did have a half black, half white son.
Nice.
So now we've got my gran and granddad have got 3 grandwens. One of them's black, one of them's white, and one of them's Arab. Class, so
Unreal.
confusing at the family Christmas
Yeah.
photo. But all the parents all white.
Looks like they've just stole you.
yeah, adopted it, Madonna style.
See, when you were growing up in school, because you were talking about how basically you have like 2 white parents now, and you're looking as like a little Arab boy looking up at it. And obviously at that age at school, like, because I remember, because obviously I'm a foster child, right? So every time, like every few months, there had to be like a new child coming in, and I'd have to introduce them into school.
Okay.
And it obviously looked like my mum was just a slut. Right, you know what I mean? So
With
like I
loads of
would
new
get,
lanes.
but I mean like I would get shit for that.
Okay.
So like I'm meaning for like you
Yeah.
growing up and just having like these 2 white parents being an Arab, would you get any like fucking wee guys being like, oh,
I was mostly all right, I was mostly all right. I think because I had kind of older cousins.
They would have more likely just picked them for having one parent as opposed to having 2. You know what I mean, it doesn't matter. Though.
I think everybody pretty much had one
I was gonna
parent
say,
in the milk. I
they
don't think
pick
there
on
was.
them for having 2.
I don't think there was much competition at them.
Yeah.
I know I was definitely growing up in like I didn't really. That's what's weird, because I grew up around white people. Like I didn't know anything else. I just knew like fucking Catholicism and Scotland and Iron Brew and shit. And this is the bit that I came on to saying recently. Is I'm like, before I knew anything about Muslims, it was 2001. And there was a big day. There was a big day.
My birthday.
Is that your birthday?
I've like 5 days after it. But
What?
It takes them 5 days to get it up.
5 days, that's close, that's close. I had that I was hosting a party bingo once, and I said to people, I was like, who's got a shite birthday? Mine's is Christmas Eve, who's got a shite birthday? Somebody was like, Halloween, and I was like, quite shite, and somebody was like, the 23rd, and I was like, that's better than the 24th, and then somebody was like, I don't want to say, and I was like, say, and she was like, 9/11, and I was like, your next number is, I had nothing to say, like, my DJ was like, right, move on. Yeah, where am I at? Yeah, growing up in the milk. So I
Yeah.
basically just grew up white. Really didn't know anything. I knew that like before I knew what Muslims were, I knew that they went Allahu Akbar and they blew themselves up. That was the full information.
That's all we know.
That's all. That is
genuinely?
the full scope. Before we knew about prayer mats, before we knew about mosques, before we knew about Muhammad, before we knew anything, we knew that Muslims went.
Boom.
That was that. So I was like, well, obviously I don't want to be a Muslim then. I want to remain unexploded. I'm just going to be Catholic.
Unexploded.
If I want to be unexploded, the only way I can do it is Catholicism.
Catholicism. Not having that will be thy name.
I love how it's like, how about no religion? No, it has to be Catholicism.
Catholicism. And
They only deal with swords, not bombs.
it kept me unexploded for a long time.
Aye.
But then it wasn't until I got older that I was like, oh, racism.
Aye.
It's like, it's there. But I think that's the weirdest thing about being like, especially because I've got like a Scottish accent, I've always like blended in with people. And
You
it
are
wasn't-
just Scottish. Like that's the thing. You're
that's it.
Scottish first.
I spent a totally about 3 months in the desert. Do you know what I mean? And even then, I get fucking un poco Arabic. Do you know what I mean? And speak muchos no Arabic. So it's like I feel like
Hablo no Arabic.
hablo zero Arabico. But I feel like growing up in Castlemilk, I had to learn how to mask to blend in for like safety, both for ADHD stuff and for gender queerness. And probably I've not got the diagnosis for the autism, but I say that like if I don't have autism, then it's going to just raise more questions. Do you know what I mean? It would make more sense. Or even at the minimum, having the ADHD and the hypersensitivity being in the scheme. Boys, I'm telling you, I think everybody that is in schemes that I went to school with. I can point to so many people that were neurodivergent, so many types of ADHD, autism, BPD, OCD, hundreds of stuff in people, but there was no diagnosis or anything. And when I think about it, a bit like jail. They just put us into schools. They just went here, oh, he's get in there. And it was mad. I think I don't remember so much of school because I spent so much here just being like
survival mode.
in survival mode, just rattling. And this is when I found out about masking. So I'd never heard about masking until it was my partner at the time's cousin, man, was autistic. And she said, he masks. And I was like, what is masking? And she said, it's like he's got a different face for when he's out in the world. And then when he comes into the house, he becomes like a different guy. He just like unmasks. And I was like, that's quite interesting. And then I read Fern Brady's book, Strong Female Character.
Yeah.
I'm going to commit to that.
Yep.
You should read it. The audiobook's really good.
Aye.
And she talked a lot about masking in that. And the term that set it off for me was she said that a therapist told her to half mask. And I was like, what is that? I'm like, that implies there's an element of control. That implies that there's like a scale that you can choose. I was like, well, I thought it was like something that you did. And for that, I realized I was like, oh shit, I've been masking. So I had like created a self that was mostly based on fit in with everybody around about you. Don't cause any trouble.
Mhm.
Be funny. Don't be gay. Don't be Muslim. That was like my whole persona. So I was just, oh, yes, man, you're having a good time, man. I'm having a good time, man. Just like ADHD, like fucking turned up so much, and hyper masculinity as well. Fucking, I'll fucking kick your gun in, you fucking daft. Don't fucking talk to me like that, you bring out fucking constantly. And I done that all through my 20s. And it wasn't until I found out about masking, I was like, holy shit, I've got like a whole other side that's been like repressed. And I think it's probably too early to get into the fucking.
No, it's not. But when did you find it out? Because a bit more context. Like I known you when you were a man. I can't remember if you were straight at the time. Just straight.
I was definitely acting straight on stage.
You
My
were,
stage
because
persona was
that,
like, I'm a
like-
straight guy. Which looking back,
The first time, like I've told this to a few people, but there's like been a few times with you where like over the years you've showed me like the real you, and then now I'm seeing it all the time.
okay.
So
I got, yeah, that makes sense because
Yeah.
that's when I would have like for acquaintances and friends, there was like a hit. I hate it. I hate it. I do it. And then when you get to know somebody, you're like, it's like you drop the mask and you're like, by the way, here's who I really am. It's like, this is me. And I'd see that your sounds, by the way, chat. Oh, you get it. And then, right, I need to go back to and it feels like with the process of unmasking, I'm even hesitant to say the word transitioning. I really am. It's probably just because everything's still in the first year.
of course,
And I'm
it's
trying-
all new.
It's
all
weird.
new.
I'm trying to figure out stuff, but I definitely feel myself like leaving behind that mask
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
transitioning out of.
Aye.
Oh, how you doing, mate? How you doing, man, mate? How's your mom, mate? I've not seen your mom in ages, mate. You're like, I give my 5 sides, mate. I fucking scored at a weekend with my shoulders lift here. Just like that. Absolutely V-neck. Just fucking, yes, mate. And I spoke to a woman called Bridget, who's a woman that does a lot of amazing charity work in Castlemilk, and she writes dynamite poems. And I said to her, met her in the cafe, and I was telling her all about this and the masking, and I was like, I was just fucking constantly being a guy. And she was like, and I know hundreds of people like that. And I was like, shit, so they are. I was like, I know loads of people that are just like, fucking
Jack the lad.
just
sort
a,
of.
like a big serious shelled up, and you know there's like another side under there, but they can never actually fucking find it. It'll just be like, fuck's sake, man. The people that are pure the people that get pure road rage, like, you know, the
Aye.
people as soon as they get in the car.
It's not about the road.
No, they come out, they turn out, no, fucking God, fucking that. It's like an old woman and like a fucking usual. Do you know what I mean? I feel like
Kill that bitch.
yeah,
Fuck her.
I'm fucking sorry, I just fucking hate that. And you're like, they people are like so much shit repressed, and I was like, I'd repressed so much, like so much. The bit that I always try to like get across to people is, I was acting like a guy for the minute I woke up. Like for the second I woke up, I would be like, and start my day. And I was saying it wasn't like when I was out with people, I had like these two sides. So it wasn't like I'd be out and I'd be like, all right, team, have a good day. See you after. I'd get in the house and I'd be like, thank God that that's all over. Finally, I can be my true and reveal. No, I was coming in the door and being like, right, my God, day, man, I'm going to fucking play the Xbox, man. I'm going to fucking smoke a fag. I'm going to get a biscuit. I'm going to fucking eat a spaghetti bolognese. I'm going to fucking eat some chocolate fingers, man. Probably going to have a wank now. I'm going to get a fucking shovel, man. I'm going to just just not ever giving myself a second to like
Right.
exist. Because if I was to exist and be myself, I would have realised that the self that I created wasn't all me. There was other stuff. And I credit the whole uncovering of it to, not the whole uncovering, but a load of the uncovering to psychedelics and counselling. They're the double, and I don't see them as two different in their aims. I feel they both like unravel.
Change your
internal knots.
perspective.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
100%.
like I'm a huge like advocate of that, like because I know what you're talking about. See with the whole hang me, because I was like that for a long time.
I
Like-
even catch myself doing that now.
Yeah.
Like I'm in work and it's just I can't be bothered. I notice a difference in my walk and I'm like, this
Yeah.
is just what I'm projecting.
Yeah.
Well,
Going into human like mode.
I was talking about in the last episode with you.
Damn that.
I was talking about like so you like I battle in a different way. Like I'm comfortable. I know like my gender and stuff. Like I'm comfortable with my sex and all that stuff. Like I'm aware of that. But I was like, but I still battle with two mindsets a lot of the time. Like because you know that pure I'm the alpha guy and I'm like that. Well, I've grew up literally around nothing but men, violence, and like that kind of sport and going like that. And like literally, see the past 2 years has been the only time I've been able to kind of hone in and go, who are you? Why are you? What are you wanting to be?
Yeah.
So, and that's literally through like what you're talking about, a shit ton of therapy, and obviously, shrooms,
Yeah.
reefer, like trying all these things just to get out my own fucking heat.
100%. And I think it's conditions. Like conditioning is so serious. Like we were in that school 9 till 3, 5 days a week for most of the year, just boof, 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 boof. And you just average for like neurodivergence. As soon as you get in that school, you need to fucking, you can't be yourself. There's just no way to.
No,
And that's like you see like on the higher end of the scale with people who can't help but be the way that they are. They get all sorts of support. There was no support. You just had to go in and you had to fucking just fit in. And that, I feel like that, in that and that under the fucking fluorescent lights every day, just getting cooked into a fucking like that. And it took me so much to like unravel it. So difficult because it's so instinctual. Like
second nature. It's literally like you're saying. You wake up and you're going that wee guy, the aggressive thing. Your brain's going, let's go.
literally. And I think it comes with fear. And I think that is the thing that I see about the scheme is like there is fear. Like when you're younger, especially, and you're walking about yourself, and you hear all the time, people get stabbed here, people get battered here. Did you hear about this boy that got done in? Did you hear about this thing that happened? And that lives in you. And I was only tiny. I was only very wee. So
Still are,
shit,
motherfucker.
I always forget. I always forget, yeah.
You ain't grown.
I was weird. I was slightly weird again. And so my whole time spent walking about was just thinking about what violence was about to occur and how I could avoid it. I think that's why I got into like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and professional wrestling. The idea that somebody would come at me and I'd be like,
You'd be ready to go.
but to like project some sort of strength. But then that ended up just going round my head for years and years and years and years. We're talking like decades here. It just always trying to predict where the next bit of violence was going to come from. And I didn't even experience that much violence. I ain't talking about I get battered or I get abuse or nothing more than like the normal experience. But even just the idea was enough to drive me like thinking about it all the time. To the point that I might as well have been getting battered all the time because I was so prepared for it. Like
I get that. The thing that always stuck with me, my mum used to warn me. She goes, if somebody asks you what team you support, you say you don't support a team.
No.
Because you don't want to get fucking stabbed.
Is it that bad now? Like with that, because I don't know, because literally I don't give a fuck about. I'm talking about Scottish football, like period. Couldn't care less. But like I remember that day as a wee guy going, I don't say anything. Like don't tell them my thing.
yeah.
Whereas now I don't. I feel as though it's like football's more. Every cunt just it's out.
Well, there was at that period where there was like pure, like real bad violence, you know,
Aye.
like gangland battles over it. No, it has got better. It's more just, it's took on the less physical violence and more shouting violence.
still
do you
have
know
the
what I mean?
effects.
Just anti-religious
Aye.
thing and that. It's all more words than it is actual.
But it's always that kind of weird way where you go, I want to avoid town all the time when there's a old firm.
Oh,
Yeah, I
like,
watch
all the
yourself on
time.
the old firm. And all that,
Aye.
yeah. I think that something I love the congregation aspect of football. That's in like
I do like that because it's like church in a way I say it because I don't
Well,
get
it is.
that.
They come from
They're
far
like-
and wide. Like
If you build it, they will come.
They go on a pilgrimage with their fucking flags in their bags, and they all come, and then they I'll kill you. You can't.
Well, they turn up. That's the thing. Like back in the day, obviously religion was a huge thing. And like now it's like subcultures into football, and you go on a Sunday, people are going to the football game and no church, but that's their church. That's
Yeah.
literally what they're celebrating. because they're like, we're all proddies or Catholics together. Let's go support these proddy bastards and Catholic cunts.
Probably
all
more
together.
to it than that, but
For some
there's
people,
nothing-
for some people, they
There's
go,
nothing
oh,
to it.
it's for the love of the game.
Aye,
And then
that's
for
it.
other people, you go, oh, put the big man up the stairs with
yeah,
one.
and it makes
Yeah.
sense because if you when we've no got like a lot of religious stuff, because obviously Catholics,
Aye.
pedos,
Pedos.
Muslims, terrorists, Jews, they've been up to a lot. You know,
They've done a
there's-
few things
There's
lately.
been some stuff. So like all the religions, every major religion, everybody's about like, and I think definitely in like lower income areas,
Mm.
there was maybe a couple of people that went to church, but
Aye, couple.
at least back in the day, on Sunday, you would have had a wee
Every-
bit of respite. You would have been like, oh,
Oh, so
Aye.
everybody's
God.
holding on to that, and
I know
it's the
we're in
one.
poverty and 5 years living in one room, but oh God, please grant my prayers. And then when that's gone, it's like, who we fucking.
Aye.
Who
Well,
we
that's the
love.
beauty of church. Don't wish for a better life here on earth. Wait for one when you die.
You
Yeah,
die,
yeah.
mate.
That's it.
That's fucking so good. But what you were talking about, like how they cage, like they basically get everything for schemes. Like, I didn't even think about that, and I'm literally a mad degenerate scheme wing. They literally cage you all in together for 6 hours, and they go, "Well, I guess we'll see what happens."
Yeah, it's
And
literally.
you go, "This is fucking
Aye.
like these children are fucking like born in the most impoverished things that they're
Take my
just
shoes
about
off.
danger." And you're going, "Let's try and put them in here with all the rest of them." So it's just going to like trickle on.
I've heard that school was literally like prison, as in like
Aye.
you wear uniforms,
Yeah.
like you are kept in cages. You get like scheduled outdoor exercise, like
Here's
you
your lunch.
eat your meals in the canteen. Like there's fights, there's punishments, there's solitary confinement,
Yeah.
like all sorts. And I also heard somebody say that there was like, so if you got somebody back for like Greek times and showed them anything, showed them transport, showed them phones, showed them anything, they'd be like, "What the is this?"
Yeah.
But if you showed them like a classroom, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, cool. I know exactly what this is. It's somebody standing up the front reading the shit." Yeah, that's what we were doing 2,000 years ago. It's like education hasn't changed in the way other stuff has. It's always just still a person going, "Look at that. Learn that."
Aye.
So even that's just fucking hit home. It really hasn't
Are you
changed.
fucked my world up?
Because I can remember being in primary school and getting diagnosed with dyscalculus, which is like
Mm.
the math version of
Mm.
dyslexia.
Aye.
What is that? What does that feel like? Because I don't.
Did you see numbers like upside down and all that?
It's not that I don't see them like upside down or that. They
Doesn't
just it
compute.
just it just means nothing to me.
Mhm.
It means nothing to me.
So it's just like looking
It's
at a
like,
blank.
I look at a number and I know what it means.
Aye.
But in terms of like when it comes to like then particularly the math side of it, I don't have the language.
That's mad. Yeah,
Or
your
it-
brain just won't let it.
It just
Connect.
won't let it do it. But I remember having the diagnosis, talking to the counsellor, and that was it.
That's it.
I had nothing else for the whole rest of my time in school. That was it. One conversation about it, and they just sent me out into the world.
But then how
Just a
it,
single
as a
sentence.
as a child, right, going, imagine how alienated you must feel. Like if these getting all this, you must feel like an
Oh,
idiot,
aye.
no wanting to say anything out loud and that. You're not comfortable as a
Oh, I
child.
can remember having greeting matches over homework, screaming at the table, going, "Come on, you know your 3 times tables." No, I don't know.
I actually can.
Aye.
Yeah, I feel like oh shit. What did you just say?
What before
Fuck,
that?
Yeah.
No, I was just. I don't even know.
Ah,
fuck.
Roll
No,
the
but I
tape
remember
back.
see being at school and all right.
Dyslexia.
Yeah.
I feel like dyslexics get way too much shit because when they'll go to say something and their brain will just be thinking of 2 different words, but they'll be related, and then they'll say like a kind of portmanteau combination of their words, and then everybody around about them will be like, "Ah, were you trying to say helicopter?" And you've said helicopter, ah! And then all the dyslexics are like, "Oh," but the brain was just thinking on a different level. The brain was actually. I feel bad for all the dyslexics, man. I feel like they get it tight. Because you're still allowed if somebody fucks a word up to go. It's
But,
not
but see,
right.
it only ever happens with dyslexic people because nobody went, "Oh, I am fucking stupid. Sorry, guys."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye.
They make fun of the person.
No.
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 Um,
See, I remember at school, right, and I was like, see, every day basically at school, I had like a support teacher with me, like
Right,
the
aye,
whole
yeah,
time,
yeah.
right? And I remember, like, obviously I'm an adult now, and I was like, I turned to my mother, then I went, here, I remember, like, from the get go all the way through high school, I was like, I had a like support teacher, and I went and hung about with all the autistics, like, that got took out of class, and all, and I went, at what point did you not think, should maybe get him an autism test
yeah.
or like something?
She was just like, that's just, he goes to school, gets his special
Aye.
way teacher.
No, but this is it. It would have probably just been put down to bad behaviour.
Literally, that's what it was.
I think
Aye,
that would have just been you being bad.
aye.
as
not
well. I
knowing
think
that,
this will be generational as well. Like, I think the younger generations will just
Aye,
have
I'm
no
20. Well, we're
all this.
30s. Well,
Yeah.
I'm 29. You're 30?
I'm 29.
You same age, like
Yeah.
1996. So
I'm 30 at the end of this
young
year.
fella over here, eh?
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where's you?
Aye.
24, had to think, well.
Ah, class.
Had to think, that's how old I'm
24.
getting.
Do you know what was great? 27. Big fan of 27.
So's Kurt Cobain, comedy.
Yeah, there
He
you
killed
go.
himself. But you're talking about masking, right? And there's that weird thing where you go, right, everybody's definitely masking somewhere.
Need something to fidget with.
Fidget with it, get a toy,
Go play with them.
get some lippy. So like you can genuinely, I like you're talking about, you can see it in everyday masking, right? So what point did you read that book, right? When was that? How long ago was that?
So the
That opened obviously your eyes to the
I
masking.
think so. I'd had loads of interactions with psychedelics, so much so that I'm doing a show at the Glasgow International Comedy Festival.
Plug it
Heard it here first, folks.
right in there.
Let me hit the fucking the mean gene on it. I'll be like, I love psychedelic. No, I can't
If you dare, I'll do the music in the
do it.
background.
Go,
the tune's
go.
right. I've had so many psychedelic experiences that I've decided to coagulate and collect all of them into a 1 hour long experience called Out My Banger, or an exploration of psychedelic plant medications at the 2026 Glasgow International Comedy Festival. My name is Tia Boyd, and I've learned a lot over the years. If you want to find out what it is, get yourself a ticket on the something of March. It'll be up on the screen just below me for the GICF 2026. See you there. Trappers.
Sucking on my titties like you want me, calling me, love me.
No.
I was going to do a Jamie Foxx then, mate, pure soulful. I was going to aye, mate.
I like doing the MCing because MD can do it.
MD can do it.
Back to the base 1 2 and coming in hard with the MC crew.
One, two. Well, I was sitting in the gaff and I had no fucking clue, nothing to do.
So,
MC.
masking.
Yeah, masking.
You're back to when did you read the
Jim
book?
Carrey, the mask. Right.
I read Film
Cameron
Brady.
Diaz.
I read Film Brady's book last year, and I was during the time. Cut all this out. Make it look like I seamlessly went into knowing what I was talking about.
No.
Are
We don't cut in.
You don't cut fuck off.
No, mate. It's
Just leave it
raw.
raw?
We like to take it raw.
All right. Okay. Well, I was for the viewers at home.
You've got it.
I was in a counselling course. Nah, I need to just talk to you.
Yeah,
Getting
talk to us.
distracted. Yeah, thanks. You just leave all this in?
Obviously, why wouldn't they? This is normal. You can go walk. Leave the cartwheel in.
Right, we need to keep that in.
We need to keep that in. Absolutely. We had to say cartwheel for the
We
audio
won't ball
listeners.
the feet, but
Aye.
we're getting too much of that
For the
on here.
sponsor.
But it's not even that, but people will need to pay for that,
Yeah,
for the feet.
yeah, for the Patreon.
Aye.
Sorry, guys.
On the Patreon, guys, you can pay for
The
Tia's feet.
Diatreon.
$8.99 a month.
Right, book. Second you read the book.
I was the book was what introduced me to the term masking, and that brought me to the question like, am I masking?
Yes.
What really, when I knew something was going on, was I'd done a course to learn how to be a counsellor because there was a 2 weeks where I'd just had like a big ADHD burnout, and it was one of the ones that was like, it was so big that it felt like my life was over. I'd just agreed to do so many things, and I'd had so much on, and debts, and messy house, and all the classic, just, I can't do this anymore. And I just broke down it that way, where the brain just goes, boo, and I was just like, I can't do anything anymore. And my mom came up, and I was like, I think I want to learn how to help people. I want to be a counsellor. That's when you know that you are really too far gone, is when you start going, I just want to help other people.
You're like, I need help, but I'm not getting it, so I'm going to help other people.
I'm going to learn how to be a social worker. I'm going to go to college. You really want to help yourself, but you don't know how, so you're like, I'm going to do that. So I done that. I was like, I'm going to be a therapist. And it was a wonderful course, and it introduced me to so much about myself and uncovered so many layers. But the one exercise that had the biggest impact on me was it was like a kind of mild hypnosis. And for, it's so hard to go straight into the actual wording of comedy bits. But for reasons that are too hard to explain, I'm so hypnotizable. You could just swing a watch like that and I'll fucking suck your cock. Do you know what I mean?
Let me get my watch here.
For the next guest,
It needs to be analog. I don't
Peter
do
Powell's
that.
a hot, naughty hypnotist coming up next, right, guys?
So I've been hypnotized at all sorts of things.
What does that feel like getting hypnotised? Because anytime somebody's tried to do that
I
shit,
think the idea with hypnotism is you're not meant to know you're getting hypnotised, but
I've done it in Ireland at a staff party, and I wasn't even part of the show. I just came to watch the show, and the guy was like, and you can even try this if you're in the audience. Put your hand down like that and your hand up like that. And I heard in retrospect for the Irish version, but they were like, T, you came down with your little half point, and then you were going, like he just got me, and he ended up like centered me for the full show. And it was like, the way that I explained it is like, at one point, it was like, T, your feet are stuck to the ground. And I remember being like, move your feet. like move your feet. Like don't let this fucking creepy fucking Irish pervert control you. I was
Aye.
like, obviously move your feet like you're not hypnotized. And I went like that. And I was like, he's got me. I was like, I'm fucked. There's that
Oh,
kind of day.
fuck.
And he kept putting me under, like, so I kept going to sleep like that.
Oh.
And he was making me
Who
do all
needs
sorts of
roofies
stuff.
when you've got a fucking
I was
hypnotist?
like, what a creep, what a creep. So it made me do all sorts. It made me kid on I was a rapper. And I remember when I was doing that, I was kind of in on it. I was like, hey, oh, hey. And
Is that when you drop your first N-word?
no, well, it was same category. Immediately after it, it was like, you're going to do a Chinese accent. And I remember in my head being like, don't. I was like, don't. I could see people with their phones out, and I was like, don't do a Chinese accent. And I won't repeat what I said, but it rhymed with like, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, like bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, like the whole.
Yeah.
I don't
couldn't-
speak Chinese, mate. I
and the
didn't
crowd-
understand
no,
that.
that's
Nah,
fluent. You were in China. Were you in China? Another
I was
ginger
there.
comedian.
Mandarin as well.
Mandarin. Aye.
Oh, I've got a mandarin in my bag, man.
No, T, back. Come back.
Right.
Come back.
I do have. I will eat that.
We're back
at
in.
some point.
Right.
Okay, I'm back.
So you got hypnotized.
I got hypnotized at this. We'd done like a hypnotism exercise in the counselling course, and you just kind of shut your eyes and they take you through a thing like you're standing at a bus stop, you're holding bags. Where are they from? Mine's what Iceland bags. Other people had like Waitrose and Marks and Spencer. I got Iceland bags. It's scaring me. And she's like, you go into a shop to avoid the rain, and there's a little man there. It was Irish in my head. I don't know why. It was like a wee
Aye.
magic man. She's like, and this little magical man has all the things in the world. He has everything you could ever want. What would you like to take from a shop? You could take like anything. You could take like an elephant, or you could take like the end of global warming. You could take like
That's the
Oh.
only two options.
Who
An
the fuck's
elephant.
picking a global warming over an
you
elephant?
can take anything. You can
But
take
if you
anything.
remove global warming, there'll be plenty of elephants left.
Mad elephants.
Do the maths.
It'll be like
you
that
can't.
scene. It'll be like
you
in-
literally can't do the
I
maths.
know I can't. And I'm not wasting my time training elephants. I'm the tallest guy in this room. I'd like to keep it that way.
Okay.
Can you keep rhythm, or are you like I want
Oh
Anna?
my
Ah,
God, he can keep
I
rhythm.
can keep
Really?
a bit of balloon.
That's brother's
Well,
smooth.
you don't need the numbers. You feel the
I don't need
actual.
the numbers. I feel the beat. I feel it.
Aye.
Hell yeah, freestyle.
Music
Right.
inside all of us.
And so they were like, take what you want, and I took like inner peace or something shite. I didn't really know what to take. That wasn't the main.
Something you don't really want.
I was like,
Realistically,
and
you
I
like
don't-
pickled onion monster. Munch, and I kinda
I wouldn't thank you. That's what I would never. And then you're about to leave, and they're like, oh, but before you leave, you have to give something to the man. And I was like, oh, what can I give? And before I even got a chance to consider, a voice for like deep in me went like, this body. And the one was like, he has a magic cupboard where all the things that we have inside of us that we don't want go. And as soon as I went, this body, it was like a Harry Potter Dementor, like flew off me, went like into the cupboard. And I was like, what does that mean? And that, in retrospect, was me uncovering like my body dysmorphia, like being like, oh, I don't actually feel like I'm in my own body. I feel like I'm in like a hard shell of a body. And I think speaking to loads of trans people, super common experience, but you don't know what it is. You've just got a weird, uncomfortable feeling that you're like, something's wrong, like something's off. I just don't feel like proper. And that fucked me up. That like we came out of the hypnotism. Some people were fine, and a lot of people in the class were like, what had happened? And then fae there, I just knew that there was something going on. In January this year, I took ayahuasca in Posel. I'd like to hear the whole story. Come and see out my banger or an exploration of psychedelic plant medication. ICF 2026.
Go see it.
And it was a crazy 2 days. It was so I'll never be able to capture exactly what happened in the 2 days. But I went through a lot, and I experienced a lot of like internal work. The weirdest thing about ayahuasca is that you can speak directly to it. So everybody talks about like mother ayahuasca, and you could just be like, Aya, what the fuck's happening? And the ayahuasca will be like, you are purging your demons. So you're like, all right, cool. It's like, throw up in this bucket. And you're like, okay. Like, it's very clear. So I went through a lot. I let go of a lot, made a lot of kind of internal peace. One of the only moment that didn't make sense to me is after a big like dance, we'd all been dancing, and there's shamans and guitars and drums and stuff. And I remember I was contacted by what it seemed like was the female lineage of my ancestors. I could just kind of feel all these Arab women like being able to speak to me the same way the Aya was speaking to me. Like it was really clear. It was like a conversation. It wasn't like a vague sense. I was able to be like, oh, hello. And they were like, hello. And I remember chatting away to them. And I'd never been able to say like, I feel uncomfortable in my body, or I feel like I've got body dysmorphia. When I was young, I didn't have any of that terminology. I just had, I'm fat. I was like, oh, I'm fat. I was like, I've got a big belly. I was like, and I hate my big belly. I need to get rid of my big belly. And that was in there since youth. And I think that was all the uncomfortableness just channeled in it. Also, I was allergic to dairy, right? I was super allergic to dairy growing up.
Yeah.
So I was waking up and drinking milk and Weetabix and Cocoa Pops and Dairy Milks, and I was constantly bloated. And I'm saying to my family, I'm like, I've got a big belly. And they're like, you're not fat. They're like, you're fine. But no, really, I was super bloated for like 10, 15 years. Eczema everywhere. Got rid of dairy, or eczema went away. No, the bloat went away. Different story. But where am I? Shit. Masking, doing the bits.
You've done the ayahuasca.
Done the
You're
ayahuasca. I did the
dancing.
ayahuasca, and I said to the ancestors, they were like, Habibi, what is the problem? And I was like, I felt dead daft. I was like, I'm fat. And they were like, what? They were like, what? And I was like, I'm fat. And they were like, Habibi. They're like, you are complaining because you get to eat every day. You have a beautiful full belly. And then one of them was like, we were in the fucking desert, Habibi. We had nothing. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, maybe I do like my belly. I was like, maybe I do. So that was starting to unravel some of the like physical tension and the connected to the mental stuff and that was that. And then it gets to February this year. And I had a wee edible. I'd been making air fryer edibles, all right?
Holy shit.
I never nailed
Really
it.
do anything in an air fryer. couldn't you?
Yeah, you really can. And it's easy as well. It's Lego now. Alternative, baby. It's here. We're doing it. That's who should sponsor you next. Get Alternative.
Heard it here first, I'll tell
That's
you.
there. All you do is you get your weed, you grind it up, you put it in tin foil, wrap it up nice and tight, put it in your air fryer at 120 degrees for like 20 minutes. It goes all brown. You mix it in with some Nutella. That's it. You've got edible Nutella.
That's bad.
That is.
To any law enforcement agencies watching this,
He's just got Nutella.
This is just
it's
for,
just Nutella, and he's talking about tea bags.
yeah, this is just for the
He's
people.
ripped open a tea bag, and he
Classy.
really likes a roasted tea.
Roast.
Delicious.
If I can go to the German beer house and get a shot of like 75% stall alcohol,
Aye.
somebody can cook a wee edible firecracker air fryer edible. So I'd been making them with no context of measurements. So I was either really underestimating them and being like, another wasted edible, or I was like,
Gone.
but yeah, for days, not dissimilar to how I am today. And there was one night I'd had it, and my partner at the time had fell asleep, and I was sitting in bed, and I was just so. Do you know that way? Do you ever are you ever that way? You're so high that you're like, I need to be careful, just not to get psychosis right now. Like this could be the moment that I slip over. Like you're like, and I always like to tell them, remember your postcode. So as long as you
As
can
if I
remember.
keep going down this line of thought for a second longer,
I mean, this
the
might,
curtains are getting ripped
yeah,
down.
I might be able to come back, but it's going to take years. So I really need to stay on the left side of sound here. And but I always remember your postcode, so I was like, I was like, right, cool, I've got it.
I've got to bleep that out.
Yeah, I know. I'll make a fake one. I'll do a fake one. I was like, remember your postcode? And I was like,
And we'll
okay,
beat that
I've
out
got
for whoever lives at G439PA, right? Okay, we'll beat that out.
it. Let's Google that at the end and find it. Somebody put in the comments.
That's your
Which
house.
street is that?
Right in
Put
if
that in
it's
the
your
comments.
house.
Yeah,
There's a-
we'll
we'll
come
give
and
you a
visit.
free
We'll get you
show.
on the podcast if you live
I'll
at
paint the house. I can do paints the houses. That's one of my hobbies. Like a really good oil painting of the
Oh,
gaff.
nice.
If they live at that and you write in,
Aye,
I'll,
write in.
I'll do you an oil painting for a reasonable price. 50% off.
250 quid minimum.
Yeah, so I had this edible and I was lying there and I was like, I'm going to go crazy. I was like, I feel like I'm going to go mental. Along with my belly, I'd also had rapid like right shoulder and neck tension. I'd always just been so tight. And as I did this edible and I was feeling all this tension, I was like, I feel like I'm going to go crazy. I was like, I feel like I'm actually going to go crazy. And as somebody who's been trying to like blend in their entire life and be like, don't worry about me, boys. I'm just normal. I'm just like you, my man. Just lying there going, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going crazy. Like, this is not good. And then after like so long of fighting it, and it felt like my muscles were like fucking stretched to capacity and my stomach was fucking twisted like elastic bands. I was just like, oh, fuck, can't take any more. And I was like, fuck it. I was like, I'm going crazy. I was like, fuck it. I'm stuck in trying not to go crazy. I'm going crazy. Fuck it. And then there was a wee pause. And then the same voice that shouted this body during the hypnosis back in the counselling college shouted, I'm trans, like that. And I was like, it was followed by like a click and a release. No huge, but enough. It was like, the way I described it is like my whole life had been digging in, getting like that. And then when I had this moment there, it was like everything went and popped back the way. So it was just about to like start. Hold on. I've done the funnel ring. I've done the
You
funnel
can
ring.
do it.
No, that's a good way. I do
I've got it.
And
I've
then
got
you
it.
hit the pop.
I've got it. It feels like this is like, and this is like, especially towards the end, like I was like suicidal, intrusive thoughts, like getting just absolutely leveled by my mental health every day. I couldn't take it anymore. And then it was like, I'm trans, and I feel like it switched like that. And then stuff started to open up like that. So I'm still at the bottom. I'm still at the very, very bottom. but I knew it could feel that things had switched, and I'd been putting that off. And that's when I was like, I'm non-binary. I'm still trying to like nail it. I did like a month thing on it. The gutting thing is that like and the partner that I was with at the time, I was like, I don't think I can be a partner right now because I don't know who I am. It's like I've got a whole secret side.
How can I be there for you when I can't even be there for me? Then
I was like, I literally don't know all the bits of me. I was like, you've definitely seen like loads of me, but there's a bit that I've not even seen of myself. So I had to like kind of go away and start to cultivate that, and that's where I started to feel like more connected to like softness and femininity, and move away from like the fucking hardness and the scaredness and the guyness and the fucking I'm gonna be so successful and have hundreds of money and hundreds of birds and every cunt's gonna finally see I'm the best, to being like, I think I'm gonna have a fucking cup of tea.
The two options. There are two wolves inside of you. One wants to fuck bitches, get money. The other one wants a cup of tea.
A cup of tea.
You decide.
Yeah, just being like, and it's slow, especially because I spent so long trying to be a guy. I cultivated the character. I'd always struggled at acting. Like when I was on River City, there was a wonderful woman, one of my first mentors called Mimi Lang. She introduced me to Manuka honey and lavender spray. Changed my life. And also she said, don't write on white paper because it's like a hospital. Write on like a yellow notepad because you'll get more creative.
I'm going to try that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't stick to it, but I think it.
I can't remember the last time I saw a bit of yellow paper.
I'm going to do that
for
though.
the fucking, yeah, it makes a difference. You can change your Google backtop of your Google Docs document as well. But we were on set one day, she was like, all the acting that you do is a frown. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, doesn't matter what emotion it is. Sad, angry, happy, shocked. Like everything was a frown. And I always stuck with me. And I think what it was I was already acting. I was already doing a performance as here's my performance of a wee boy. I'm just a normal wee boy. And then on top of that, I had to also act like a character. I think that's why I loved drama and why I loved performing, because I was already in it. As soon as I came into contact with a person, to feel safe and to feel comfortable, and for ADHD automatic reasons, I would just be like, and it was fine. It got me by. It kept me safe. But at 29, I was like, I'm exhausted. Like, I'm so tired. I'm tired every time I close my front door, having to be like, just on high alert. And the unraveling of that has been so slow. Like, I really thought it was going to be like a stars in your eyes situation. I thought it was going to be like, tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be trans woman. I was going to walk in the smoke and come out with a pair of tits and a big arse. I was going to be like that. No, to say that that's the only things that femininity counts, of course. But it's much more like...
It is when you're a guy.
So don't even get me started on guys. Guys are the biggest woman of all.
Oh,
that's
mate,
the
you know
issue.
me. I'm a pussy.
That's the issue, man. So, yeah, I think I grew up thinking that, like, femininity was something that was out there. They've got it.
Yeah.
Women have got it. And you need to get it. Actually, get yourself a woman. And then you'll be able to get femininity. But I took enough, not enough, but I took various psychedelics and experienced the feeling of, like, connectivity. It's like, this is what all podcasts sound like. I hate this. But, like, whatever, like the kind of singular source or oneness is, you get into that and you're like, oh, I can feel everything. So I've got everything in me. So I don't actually need anything for any other people. I think that's what's fucking a lot of men up, is that there's like, they crave like the divine feminine, which is like the softness, the joy, the fucking light of Mother Nature, the fucking peace of the world. But they access how to get it. They think it's impossible. So they're just like rattling porn every day. They're like, I need the vagina. That's what I need. What they actually need is like the celestial, beautiful.
You need to go outside.
You need to get the sun. You need the sun to shine that beautiful energy onto you. But we don't know how. It's all just like, oh, I'm going to get birds. I'm going to go eat Kokomo.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Like, see, when you said that, like, my first thing was like my response and reaction when you said like, oh, I need to get somebody that's like all that. It's all the things like we earn. That's what it feels like as a guy. Like,
or what you think you're on there.
Aye, that's better. What you think you're on there. And it is. It's like, it's quite a hard thing because you're like, you go to your women to kind of get these things out of you. And it's like, no, I need to get them. Like, I need to get them out so I can make it better for us.
Everything's always internal. Yeah.
Aye.
And it was so hard because I'd built my whole life on trying to avoid being feminine. I thought if I was to present in any way feminine at all, I'd be dead. Like, it was a 1-to-1 ratio. I was like, if they catch you wiggling your ass when you walk up Castlemilk Drive, or if they see you and fucking fishnets at the shops. They'll get you, and that's it. And all my whole life was just building like a protective shell, and it was great. It got so much done. Like the wee guy that I was some wee guy. I met so many people, did so many things, but it was never really all me. It was never ever all me. And the most important thing for me is that when I started to, like, even, I'm so hesitant to say transition, but whenever I started to do whatever this process is, all the intrusive thoughts lessened by like 80% immediately. I think the suicidal thinking, I think the horrible intrusive thoughts about the worst shit possible was just a side effect of pushing stuff down.
Yeah.
Just pushing constantly until it's in there and it's all twisted and it's all fucked up, but it's gone, fucking sort me out, help, sort me out. And you're like, no, I'm just going to fucking get another gram and I'll be all right. I don't need to deal with you. And I think that's why people are doing 3-4 days are going, I just don't want to feel. I don't want to feel. Because if you stop to feel, you go, fuck, I've got so much that I need to like uncover. But I wouldn't have this any other way. Like I couldn't just go back. I couldn't just go back to kidding on all the time.
I would hate that for you.
Could it be real?
I mean,
Aye.
I only met you the one time in Salsa, all them many years ago.
Boy,
It's bloody night and day. Do you know what I mean? It is
I
a different
appreciate that.
person.
thank you.
Well, I say this about you quite a lot. It was like, I've not lost my brother, like, but I've still got my brother and I've gained a sister at the same time with you.
Yeah,
Like, that's what I feel.
I appreciate that. I feel like I'm so uncomfortable with all the pronouns. I feel
Aye.
like all of them don't fit at all.
But it's like you're not even like, even if you're not transitioning like that, there's no transition. You're becoming you.
Yeah.
That's all
You're
that's
just
happening.
you're finally just taking the time to ask yourself questions.
Yeah,
Aye.
do you know
Who
what?
am I?
It definitely
Aye.
feels like the term unmasking feels way more appropriate
Yeah.
than transitioning. But even though there is like a gender-based element to it, but I can't explain that like freedom like of being the way that you are. Like no matter what way you're internally, we definitely spend so much time being like, I'm not this. I'm not this.
And I think that's a West of Scotland thing. It is very much you always play it down.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever themselves, you know.
Yeah. Like you're good at something. Yeah. Like you're special. Like you're beautiful, do you?
Yeah, you're better than me.
Yeah. But it's annoyingly slow. It's a pain in the ass.
But after, it's like, it looks slow for you, like it'll feel it and all that, but like, I remember when you came and you'd like the first time I'd seen you in a dress, and I was just like there just wasn't that feeling of going, that's weird. I just was like,
Aye.
I had a out breath of fucking relief. I did, because I was like, oh, they're themselves like that. They you looked so comfortable and so happy, and to see my body like that, I was like, holy fuck, man, I
appreciate
can't
that,
believe
though.
it.
No, thank you. And it does feel like that. There's a piece. And this is the year where I'm going to look the most fucked up. First year. Like people are like, you look great, but we should be looking back at photos of this time going, what the fuck? What were you wearing? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Everybody should.
You're experimenting everything.
If anybody's transitioning anyway, give them a year. Give them a year just to fuck about and find it. Except the non-binaries. The non-binaries just put on dungarees straight away and they're good to go. They get some Lucy and Yaks and they go to a vintage bookshop and they buy some plants and they get a cat. And that's it. You're done.
Sounds like life to me.
That sounds
Shout
like
out.
perfect
You're no
life.
far away.
Get me a pair of dungarees.
No,
You're
that's
no
all
mind
you
free.
need. You've
Yeah.
literally got a cat. And all that.
Yeah.
But it's been amazing to see this, honestly.
Thanks,
and
man.
I just can't wait to see you get even more happy. I genuinely
Brilliant.
can't.
And
was
also, I mean, thank you. You've talked about all this so beautifully.
Yeah.
Like,
appreciate it.
like even a fucking idiot could understand it. Or you've talked about it way
Well, that's
brilliantly.
I appreciate that because that's my like I was looking into the science of things and I was like, there's like the fucking C3 4D index where if this finger's shorter than this finger, it's because you were exposed to estrogen in the prenatal womb and it's cis brains and het brain and there's a chemical called androgen N3 and trans people have a higher amount of all this, but I can't do that with the people that I'm trying to talk to in the schemes. I can't because they're not interested. So
No,
I need
I
to be
don't
like,
care.
I need to be like, here's what happened. I'm like, we got misinformation. We just got wrong information, unfortunately, and we all built an entire like thought process around about it. And it's so funny because like people in the schemes, like literally NED stands for like non-educated delinquent, and people know that they know nothing about nothing. I don't know about politics. I don't know about science. I maybe know about my job, and I maybe know about football, and I don't know nothing else. But I know gender science. That is one thing I am deeply and fully clued up on. You don't need to tell me anything
Yeah,
about
that's the
gender.
thing. No, Ned's always know something. I've met a Ned that speaks fluent French.
Really?
Like just like a guy in a Lacoste tracky speaking fluent French, and I go, wait, this guy.
If you drink that much
This
Buckfast,
guy's
it'll
lunch.
happen.
He would be calling it Lickles.
Lacoste tricky.
Yeah. No, cool. This has been cool, boys. I appreciate this.
No,
And it's a nice...
We fucking love you. I hope you know that.
I love you too. It was a nice week. Time
Of course.
Thank you, and we'll need to get you on again in the
Aye.
future.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what it'll be in a year. So I did a show, The Inner Circle was on TV last 2 weeks ago, but it was filmed in February. And even for February to know watching it, I was like, who is that? It was in my non-binary month, but I was calling myself T and I had they them pronouns.
Yeah.
But I was literally... I was like that the whole time, and I was like, and I watched it with my gran and granddad. She's like, "You sound like something at a still game," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm vocally masking." I'm like,
doing Jack Victor.
Yeah, don't look at me. I'm just a wee normal guy. Like that. So I look forward to another year to see the.
I can't wait to see you grow. I just can't.
Gonna be immense.
I wait to see these bad boys grow as well. It's gonna be over. I'd be famous.
With heavies.
That's where the fame comes from.
That's
It's not the work. It's not the singing. It's not the comedy. It's not the art. It's just having fucking.
That's where it
titty
all
boys.
comes down to, mate.
Thanks for being here,
My
Sydney
wee
Sweeney.
TikTok thirst traps. Yeah.
Shouts in this video.
Sign up. Tidney Tweeny.
But
Right,
Tia,
well.
we fucking love you, and shout out to everyone who's tuned in.
Yeah, shout out to everyone. We'll put all the details for your upcoming show at the Glasgow Comedy Festival
Yes,
in the link
sir.
in the bio.
Check out Too Queer. It's the last Sunday of every month in the Corset Club. And check out Open Source Comedy. It is the most diverse and inclusive comedy night. And the South Side, second Sunday of every month in the Rum Shack. And also buy photos of my feet over at my Patreon.
You will find the links to this all in the bio below, folks.
How many toes have I got? Not 10.
I love,
Not
by the
10.
way, I love Too Queer. I opened it and I debuted a horrific story. And I told Tia before, I went, so basically, I was meant to do like 15, and I went, I'll do 15. I told Tia before it, I went, like, don't worry. I says, I've got this kind of news story. And I went, it's horrific. Like, it's a horrific like story that happened to me when I was young. And I said to her, don't worry, I won't do it. Killed it for 15 minutes, right? And then I went like that. I just went out to the kid and went, no, I told Tia I wasn't going to do this. And then I did the story, and
I was
it
at the
roofed.
back like, go.
And do you want to know what I love about doing your night, right? I'm a straight guy. I don't get to do queer rooms.
Very
And I cannot express
Well,
this
Sean,
enough.
any room yours in a queer room.
Does that matter? No, but getting to do that to, like, I can't believe any comic wouldn't want to do it, because that's my job. I want to do it every audience. I want to get my bits for everyone, and I got that opportunity to do that. And it fucking, a gay audience, like a queer audience, is one of the best audiences you will have in your life. They
That's
will
them.
blow your mind.
I was talking to a comedian recently at Open Source, and they were saying that so many gigs is just guys in the crowd just looking. It's just a sea of guys,
Aye.
like 3 women that have been dragged along.
Aye.
So we get into queer spaces and get like a real
Aye.
mix of people. And yeah, the Corset Club.
It's a fucking unbelievable night. You need, anybody listening, you need
So
to
we'll
go.
put the links in the bio for that. As I said, it is, these nights are unreal and obviously run by the lovely Tia.
Lovely tea.
So guys, that's all we've got time for today. I have been Lewis Reed, and this is
I've been Short Chalmers.
I've been fatherless. I've also been Tia Boyd.
Yeah.
Tia Boy.
Much love, fuckers.
Yes, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you all on the next one, folks. Ciao.
Bang.